and welcome to another installment of the very first weekend of MLE Season 14 presented by APM Music. We've turned up the volume on our beautiful intro. We've turned up the volume in-game as well. Everything is to play for here tonight. The first night of MLE action this season, or second night, I guess, if you want to count yesterday, but yesterday was a bit chaotic, wasn't it? I'm Fall, and joining me in the Chaos booth is none other than Granticus. Granticus, it's a pleasure to have you on board. How are you feeling tonight?
Oh, pleasure to be here. I'm feeling pretty good. Even just looking at this lobby, I've played with a lot of these guys in the scrims, so I know how they can play, and I'm looking forward to see what both these teams have to offer going against one another.
Absolutely. It is the Academy League up first for you tonight. The Sharks taking on the Shadow. It is a huge matchup with AJ Binky and Big C representing the Sharks, Mo and Lowman223 representing the Shadow. These are four of the most solid and recognizable, in my mind at least, ACAD players over the past season and a half, especially during the off-season. These names popped up in scrims a lot, so it's no surprise to see them getting their time on the main stage straight away.
Oh, most definitely, especially with seeing AJ Binky on the field as well. Like, just seeing that name pop up in a scrim, like, once you see Amelia, it's like, hey, your scrim's ready to go, and you see that name pop up, like, honestly, it terrifies me half the time. I know I'm probably getting ready to get, my butt whooped right now. Like, I'm getting ready to get destroyed. I'm getting ready to get swept. And even Lowman and Mo and even the Big C, all these are very, like you said, popular names that you see in scrims quite a lot. So, looking to see an intense matchup here.
Well, the Big C is definitely a name I'm familiar with, having casted a lot of their series. Same with AJ Binky as well. Be interesting to see, though, because we have seen the players from all sides of the ball play on stream before. They're not unfamiliar with this setting. It's not a rookie nerves. It's not new player nerves. Everyone is here to have a bit of fun, and we are ready to go for game number one. So who's going to take the advantage straight away? It's kickoff time, Sunday evening. AJ Binky and Big C representing the Sharks, Mo and Lowman representing the Shadow. We're just waiting for people to hit the button spectate, and then we'll be going into the game. And we are ready with our first countdown, the first 5 minutes of this best of five match, I guess, series. And it will be Mobags trying to control it in the corner. AJ will look for the pass across. He takes the ball, but cleared away very comfortably by Lowman. Big C, not the best touch there. Actually doesn't get a touch at all. AJ Binky will bail them out on the back line as Mobags will now come forward. Looks for the touch, but AJ straight over the top again. Good pace so far from everyone. Not a single mistake necessarily that has been too costly, and I think that's what they're going to try and avoid to start things off. 30 seconds gone, still tied at 0-0.
Yeah, kind of just looking around the field, kind of just going in that back and forth right now. Both teams, we've had a couple of chances, but, you know, like we said, all these players that are on this pitch right now are all really big names and are really good as well, but the Shadow leave their net wide open, and AJ was able to capitalize on it and put it into the top right.
Yeah, the Sharks will strike first. Good beat there from Big C to put that one into the middle, and AJ will not miss an open shot like that. Bounce shot into the far right of the net, and it will be the Sharks to score their first goal for Academy League doubles this season. Of course, MLE not just favoured in twos, but also in threes. There are as two separate game modes that are played every single week by every single team. So it'll be interesting to see what the threes result for this lineup did entail, to see if they will match up with what we're seeing so far in twos. But that's a very good touch there from Lowman. Will force AJ to make a mistake, and it's tied up with Mo putting it home for 1-1.
AJ was trying to get the catch, but instead he kind of just sent it off that corner and just put it perfectly in the middle with their net wide open. And it left them Mo with an open net, and they were able to capitalize on it.
Great shot there from Mo. AJ now looking off the kickoff to try and get the goal back, but does not happen. Lowman off the pass from Mo. Great control touch there. Goes up the wall, but Big C's equal to it at the near post. Back now to Mo. He'll look to try and put it towards the net, but AJ Binky is able to corral that ball away. And it's still, though, being kept in the Sharks' defensive third. And Lowman will do it all by themselves off of this touch, over the top of Big C, and then catches it beautifully to go in to make it 2-1 to the Shadow.
Just what a play, and the speed coming out from Lohman right there. We did see a little bit and see that Mo got the assist. It almost looked like Lohman was able to get the pinch off of Mo, who was able to put it into the corner. And with that, Lohman might be able to look for another one. Oh, what a shot. So close coming in from Lohman right now.
Yeah, the pressure definitely mounting for the Sharks. They'll need some sort of counter-attack to try and get the momentum flowing back the other way. AJ had a chance there, but Mo will clear it up. Now, looking for the pass, maybe no the shot instead, and Big C will put it up to the sideboard, but that's only as far as Lohman. That shot just off the mark, aimed for top corner, but just missed it, only found post. 2 minutes gone. In this first game, it has been already a pretty intense fixture for both teams. Neither team wanting to back down, but it is the Shadow who have the slight advantage heading towards that halfway point. Is this a sort of advantage that they want to keep, or you think at this point they're going to be looking for that third goal to try and make it a 2-goal cushion?
Honestly, especially for the Shadow, it'd give them more comfort if they had a 2-goal lead. Because, like right there, they had a 1-goal lead, and just like that, the Sharks are able to tie it right back up, and we're just reaching the halfway point of this match.
Yeah, great controlling first touch from AJ Binky, then just runs Mo wide and absolutely domes them with a beautiful piece over the top of them into the back of the net. Really well placed shot. And that, of course, will tie things back up as we cross the halfway mark. It is 2-2 in this game. I wonder if it'll be 2-2 by game 5. It feels like this has been a very evenly matched opening game, but we know momentum can swing, and that almost was the swing in favor of the Sharks, as they almost found a third goal to make it 3-2.
Yeah, kind of just going off like what you said, it's been a really evenly matched game, and which kind of just proves what we were talking about earlier. It's like how these players are all well known, especially with that 50 from AJ almost going in. It's like seeing all these players play. The net might be open. Mo just blocked it.
Mo's just blocked their own shot. That was an open net. The defender was nowhere to be seen. Had the demo as well, so Mo had done it previously. Now looking for a flip reset. Gets the pass across, but Lohman not willing to commit on that attack, especially with 2 defenders in the net, and now won't be able to find the back of the net. Minute 30 left on the clock now, as Big C will clear this one away. It is unfortunate. The Shadow should be leading right now, but they are not, and now they have to try and find a way to get back on the offensive, back into that mental state of being able to go on the offensive for a consistent period of time. That might do it for Lohman, but Mo's not there for the follow-up. AJ Binky will clear it to the corner. It's not a goal just yet, but it is threatening.
Especially in that corner, Mo able to get that 50 right there. Lohman with the shot, but AJ able to be in the right spot. Just kind of starting to see that back and forth, kind of like ping pong or even tennis. Both kind of the same thing, but just kind of seeing that action going on right now. Lohman in an awkward spot, able to get it back to mid. But just Lohman now has that chance. This, like, if you're rooting for the Shadow right now, that is exactly what you want to see. Oh my gosh!
We're watching Academy League or Champion League. What a beautiful shot from Lohman. Unfortunate that only the crossbar was there to meet him. There was definitely no defender that was getting to that one. But now it's back the other way. No matter how good your offense is, if you don't get the one next to your name, you don't get that goal to your name, it does not matter how fancy the play is. And right now, it is AJ Binky looking for a boomer downfield. Puts Mo on the back foot, who will catch it and get their Savior medal, and then will just beat out Big C. 10 seconds on the clock. That one is off target, but AJ had to cover the post as well, because look who was lurking. Lohman, with 3 seconds on the clock, will steal it at the death. The Shadow get the goal. They should have got a minute and a half ago, but this time it seals the game. 3-2.
What a shot coming off from Lohman, able to take it off the wall, able to get that slight flick, getting it over one, and able to get the recovery to power slide right back into it, flicking it over the other one and putting it into the back of the net with those 2 seconds remaining, and that might be the nail in the coffin for game 1.
Wow. I think wow is the best adjective. Yeah.
Yes.
A very strong.
It fits. Yeah. That's the word that fits the most.
8 shots from Lohman. You can see the scoreboard right now. Lohman with 8 shots, only 2 goals, but the amount of offensive pressure from the Shadow, it had to give at some point. One of the defenses had to go. It felt like the Shadow, they should have had it a little earlier, but of course, thanks to Mo, It didn't necessarily transpire such as that, but you know, earning the goal back immediately from Lowman to finish off game 1, it sets us up pretty nicely heading into game 2. The Shadow now have that 1-game advantage. They're not going to be able to wrap up the series unless they get another win here in game number 2, but looking forward to game number 2, it's not necessarily an easy task. The Sharks showed a lot of potential. It'd be interesting to see if they can get their momentum going and actually get the goals that they feel like they should have gotten already.
Especially, like, even like you pointed out, like Lowman had 8 shots. That's to say, like, that is the combined shots of the Sharks. But it's like, even going back, you see Lowman went for an aerial off the wall. We had Mo going for a flip reset from the ceiling. So it's like they had multiple chances to score, and they just barely missed them, either hitting the backboard or the crossbar, or one of the Sharks being in the right spot at the right time to get that save. But now Shadow looking to take an increase in their lead, or the Sharks trying to tie it up to see if we can go to the next game. And here we go.
Game number 2 is underway. Neo Tokyo, the backdrop for this first best of 5, or not best of 5, a 5-match series. I will say that every time because I keep forgetting that it's not best of 5 every time I say it out loud. And right now it is the Shadow who have that 1-game advantage. It is, of course, going to go to 5 no matter what the scoreline is after 3. So even if the Shadow are to win all 3 back to back to back, it won't necessarily be over, because the Sharks could still take 2 back and make it a 3-2 overall, because every game matters here in a 60-game season. I believe it's 60. It might actually be 50 now. Yeah, it's 50 now. I remembered. Miscalculation. It'll be Mo now. They're going to take this one forward. Tries to go past Big C, does flick off the post, almost a beautiful solo goal. AJ Binky will carry it away. That should have been the first goal of the game.
Indeed, Mo had great card control, was able to get the flick, but just sent it wide of the post, and that kind of just took away from the goal opportunity. But Mo able to put it back into the corner. The Shadow right now are keeping that offensive pressure on, just kind of working out for him.
Whoa. Great pace from Lowman there to get up and block it before the shot even was taken by AJ Binky, just taking the ball away. Now this one will float into the middle. That's a demo there from Big C, but it will not stop Lowman from getting up for the 50. That time, you take out Lowman, you take away the 50. Now it's just Mo going for that ball, gets the beat on Big C, but can't get the ball a second time, and instead we'll get a demo as they rotate back through. Are they going to be in the net in time? No, they're not. AJ Binky will beat one and put it home, and the Sharks have another lead.
A 19-mile-per-hour goal.
It doesn't have to be quick.
Oh yeah, it was just at the right pace. Mo was right there, but wasn't able to get behind the ball in time to get the save, and the Sharks take the lead here in game 2.
Yeah, and they are still on the offensive, though. That's a good clearance from Lowman. AJ Binky's waiting for it. 57 boost in the tank. Will go up for this one. We'll find the shot. What a save from Lowman. But you can't keep them out forever. Big C will knock it home. Top corner and in. Beautiful save from Lowman. Deserved maybe for that one to have not found its way in on the second time of asking. But you know what? Sharks get points for being persistent. And that puts them 2-0 ahead.
And if you're a Sharks fan, that's exactly what you want to see. And Lowman had that epic save, but I think Big C was in the right spot at the right time. I'm just thinking, as we've been watching this, or at least as I've been watching this, the longer I watch it, the more I'm like, are you sure we're doing AL or is this CL?
It does feel like the level is just every touch feels so competent, feels so consistent. It feels like these players are playing at the highest possible level they can be right now. They are all hitting their peaks. AJ will look for the pass down to Big C. Will find it, but Mo read it better. He reads books for breakfast, and he will knock that one home. Half the lead is 2-1.
Great 50 coming out from Mo, able to just sit it down. And with both the Sharks down at the other end, Mo had an open net to work with and was able just to take it all the way into the net. Now, Shadow are only down by 1 with just under half the game left.
Lowman goes to try and take this one up. Won't be able to find a way past AJ Binky. Will be AJ's ball now as they look to try and carry it down the field. Looks to go past Mo, but Mo with an amazing 50 there. Can't get the 50 on Big C though. The Big C will go over the top, but that is an amazing clearance there down the field by Lowman. It puts the Sharks right back in their defensive third. It'll be Lowman now for the shot. It's low and hard, but it will be wide. It won't find its way past Big C, who will go up early and immediately beat out Mo. It's pressure now for the Shadow. They need to clear this one away, and they will do. Mo, with a controlling touch, gets the Cook's pinch, but can't find a way past Big C, who was sitting perfectly in the midfield. As the Sharks continue to hold on to this 1-goal lead, they look to make it 2. Lowman and Mo are uncomfortable, but they can't be beat on defense right now. Great work. It's still 2-1 at the minute 30 point.
That defense that's coming out from the Shadow, they're showing that they are still here and they want to keep that 1-goal deficit right now, to give them that chance. With Mo right now going for the double tap.
Double! Oh, what a save! AJ will keep it out. Desperation. Dive across the net. Lowman had beaten Big C out, but couldn't beat out AJ Binky. What a save to keep it at a 2-1 scoreline. That save could be instrumental if they are to take home the win right now. But of course, they've got to keep that defense up for another 50 seconds if they want to secure it. It'll be Mo coming forward. Good save from Big C will earn them their savior medal as they look to come back the other way now. Beats one, can't beat the other. AJ will pass it across the middle, but no one's there but Mo, who will look to control the ball and maybe take it away from a defender. Unfortunately, demoed for his efforts, but it's still not out of the woodwork yet. The pass back from Lowman. Mo can't get there. He's beaten to the ball. Big C with a demo, and that will secure it in my mind. Sharks 3-1 up with 22 seconds to go.
Yeah, Lowman was trying to get the pass out, but the Big C was able to be in the right spot and able to read exactly where that ball was going to go and able to send it over Mo. Mo tried to turn around, but Big C able to get the demo and securing that goal. That might be the nail in the coffin for game 2. But I don't know if we can count the Shadow out just yet, but we'll have to find out.
Time will tell 100%. The time is ticking away for the Shadow. They need a goal immediately so they can try and push for a kickoff goal. Mo will get the demo, but will be demoed as well. The double demo may have just sealed it. The time ticks to 0. It is now mathematically impossible for the Shadow to take game number 2. The Sharks will let it drop, and they will even up the series. AJ and Big C will make it 1-1 as we head into game 3.
Yeah, I think I'm settled. I'm pretty sure this is CL. I don't think this is AL anymore. This game just confirmed it for me. I'm positive this is CL. This is not ACAD anymore.
I must assure you, this is Academy League. This is what the redistribution's done. It has made Academy League so much more competitive, and I am all for it. I love every second of this because this is MLE at its core. Everyone is pushing. Everyone is at the top of their game defensively. Lowman had a blinder. Unfortunately, there was no translation to the offensive. Again, the Shadow shooting a lot. This time, though, they weren't able to find as much success as last time. Their fancy plays, their beats in the midfield, they weren't coming out as often as they needed to secure a possible shot on target and a goal from it. Instead, the Sharks could just hold that mid-line and just pressure the Shadow into defense the entire game.
Almost definitely. We did see it quite a bit, but even kind of showing in the replay back there were a lot of times where the Shadow were just in awkward positions and they kind of went almost into panic mode, which did cost them a little bit, and the Sharks were able to capitalize on that and able to put all those shots and even those 3 goals into the back of the net, which gave them that game. Right now, the Shadow just... I don't know if they need to do, if they need to get more clears or what exactly they need to get, because they were getting clears and they were getting those shots. We saw they had all those shots last game, but they just weren't able to put them in the back of the net with the Sharks' defense starting to show quite a bit.
It is game number 3. Forbidden Temple Day is the setting. An unusual setting, but one you may become accustomed to by the end of the season. I will assure you of that. Big C will take the ball in the midfield, looking to give the Sharks the same kickstart that they had in game number 2. This one will be cleared off the backboard by Lowman. AJ will put it off the sideboard, and Mo will direct Big C shot to the corner, but again, there's no one on that ball right now. Mo will have to put it towards their own net, and it will be Lowman who clears it away, but only as far as Big C, and I think that's the issue. The deep-sitting second rotation from the Sharks has been instrumental in taking apart the clearances. AJ will slot home the pass as Mo's not able to find the clear.
And Mo was able to get there, just didn't calculate the bounce off that corner, didn't get the distance just right, and flew right behind the ball. The ball just floated perfectly towards the net. Big C was able to get the touch, put it in front, and as you saw, AJ was able to be there to get that goal with a chance for another one. Big C able to turn around, looking to increase their lead once again.
Looked for the shot there, found only the inside of the post as it bounced out. Now Mo puts this one up in the air. AJ, great touch away. Took it away from Lowman, who was absolutely going in for it. But now Mo's up in the air. Air dribble to the backboard. AJ read it perfectly. Takes it off the hood of the car and clears it away. But it's demoed by Mo on the rotation out. Big C now bumped. But unfortunately, it didn't get that far as AJ will clear it straight away down the field. Lowman, though, with a great 50 will take it out. And Mo with a demo onto Big C. Eliminates the threat. Allows the Shadow to reset. They can now get the ball and run it back down the field.
Lowman with a shot. That was incredibly close. The Shadow really needed that, and Lowman now didn't look like Lowman had any boost there, and AJ was able to keep the speed up, making sure that ball would find that bottom right corner.
Yeah, great, well-played shot there from AJ. Great read as well from the corner to clear that one away, straight down the field. We look towards the kickoff now. It is still 2-0 for the Sharks, but we saw last game that the Shadow are able to get at least a goal a game. So that's what they're going to be looking for here. They're going to be looking to get that goal back pretty much immediately. That one touch away by AJ Binky, and their offense has definitely not sung as well as it has in game one. Now a chance, but Lowman just takes a little too long, gives enough room to Big C. AJ will tip that high. Lowman's up for it. Will only get the flip reset on it, but the ball doesn't really go anywhere. As now Big C will put it up high, above the backboard. Mo will take it down, and Lowman will hit it off the backboard and away. Smart defensive work to bail out their teammate and to keep this one at just a 2-goal deficit.
You're kind of just seeing the Shadow it looks like they keep getting caught off guard, or they're just not reacting as quick as they were in game one. Because they keep getting those clears, but they're just not able to get the speed to match the Sharks right now. But as I said, Mo with that great clear, sending it down the pitch, could give a nice counter for the Shadow.
And the Sharks have figured out the plan of the Shadow is to sort of clear and dump in a sense, and then dump and chase to follow it on. They don't like to control the ball in the midfield. So yeah, when they look like they're going to clear the ball away, have one player sat a little further back, a little deeper in your half, just to avoid the possibility of overcommitting. Big C with a chance will not put it on target, and instead it will bounce awkwardly out in front of net. Mo cannot get there. AJ Binky can, and that is the third goal for the Sharks as they establish a dominant lead here in game 3.
What a shot coming out from AJ, with Big C able to get it off the back wall. Not even the backboard, just the back wall, able to put it out, and AJ able to get that absolute banger to put it into the top right section of the net. Made it really difficult for the Shadow to get, and it proved to work. Now the Shadow just looking to try to score at least one, to at least give them some life here in game 3.
Yeah, Mo trying to control the ball, but instead just gives it to Big C, who doesn't get the touch that they were looking for, but AJ will bail them out with a nice little doink past Mo. Bicycle touch there, and then Lowman will take it up and high off the wall, but again, didn't really lead to much. It didn't take any defenders out of position. It didn't move the defense an inch. They waited for the ball to land because they knew there was no follow-up to it, and then they took their touch, and again there, Big C waited for Mo to waste their boost, waited for them to be out of the play. AJ looks to the dooms, he can't find a way past Lowman, who was the last man back. Did a great job of holding up stalwart there. As Mo will look to clear this one away. There's a chance here maybe for the Shadow. They pinch it middle, but again there's no follow-up touch from Lowman, and AJ just had a bit of room to carry it out. The chance is fading for the Shadow to find themselves back in this game. Big C will tee it up high. Lawman will get the Savior medal, but it's not out of danger yet. They'll clear it to the corner, and Mo will try and clear it away, but the Sharks are still hunting in the waters right now. They aren't chasing Shadows anymore. They're chasing goals. They're looking for a fourth, but they can't seem to find it.
Dude, right now it just kind of looks like each time, like the Shadow, they're getting the touches that they need and the chances, but each time that they try to go for the shot or even send it down the pitch, all they're being met with is just a great white shark sitting right there waiting for them to make a mistake and just to immediately attack what they have done. A little bit of double commit right there from the Shadow. It's just Shadow, I don't want to say it, but they kind of seem to be falling apart a little bit here in the game 2 and 3.
Yeah, game 3 does go to the Sharks. 3-0 the scoreline at the end of it. And really, the shots should tell you the entire story. It was game number 2, but with less Shadow offense. It was a total domination on the offensive front from the Sharks. And again, I think that comes from the midfield. 100% of the time. It is them controlling that midfield presence and stopping the Shadow from getting any build-up there. It's stopping them from rotating forward and getting chances on the offensive half. They're stopping them from being an effective offensive team and are forcing them to play their game. They're having to wait for the Sharks' touches. They're not able to challenge quick enough to meet them, so they have to now think about how they have to go around to try and beat them.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you pointed out the shots, but even like the Shadow, their defensive game was there. The Sharks definitely had multiple chances to increase their lead even more. The Shadow was still able to get those 4 saves. And kind of like you said, it was just the fact that the Shadow, they were able to get the right touches. They were able to follow the ball. But each time they tried to keep going, they were always met by one of the Sharks. Either Big C or AJ Binky were in the perfect spot, able to get a nice 50, or able just to send it right back down the field into the Shadow side of the pitch.
Okay, number 4 is underway. Series on the line here for the Sharks. They can wrap it up here, as though we will go to game 5 no matter what. But also an opportunity for the Shadow to try and recollect themselves. They had 60 seconds between games to try and think of a strategy or try and change the mental game that is currently ongoing in their VC right now to try and affect some change in this series. Mo will tap it down for Lowman, who will look to control it, and AJ will not get past him. It's now a 2-on-1 situation. Mo will go high into the corner, not the best play, and Big C will meet it. Lowman now. Staccato offense. 1, then 1, then 1, then 1. It is not necessarily working. They might need to go for a full dive. That's exactly what they went for, but Big C is equal to it every time. Beautiful clear downfield, straight into the back of the net. Sharks just needed one opening, and they strike.
Yeah, the main thing I'm seeing from Big C is that I need to use the Esper more, I guess. That's just what that's another thing I'm learning from this match right now. The Esper is definitely the card. Big C with that absolute beautiful clear and banger down the pitch, able to set it into that top left. And it's definitely starting to show a bit more. It's starting to look like the Shadow might even be overcommitting just a little bit. Because yeah, they might be able to get it, but then after they're both up, they both get a touch. Next thing they notice, the ball is going to be in the back of their net.
Yeah, it's a distinct possibility, although to go back to the Esper point, it is a distinctly Shark-like car, isn't it, really? I mean, there's no other car that I would consider Shark-like in the entirety of the Rocket League car pool right now. But of course, this isn't karaoke. We are currently waiting to see if the Sharks can find another goal. They can't find one past Lowman, as that one will bounce away. Now, they will be on the defensive, but that's from Lowman's not going to aid the offensive threat from the Shadow. Mo will look to take it forward, will go high above 1. That's off the crossbar and down. Lowman will read it quicker, and that is the first goal for the Shadow. Since the middle of game number 2, it was a goal they needed, and it ties it up.
Dude, what a pass coming in from Mo, able to send it off the backboard. And then Lowman able to get that nice little flip from the barrel roll and able just to tip it right over Big C and able to put it into the net. And like, especially if you're a Shadow fan right now, that is exactly what you wanted to see. They're starting to get that passing play back together. We'd love to see the solo plays with that team play right there. And Mo has a chance, and Lowman's able to back him up. Mo almost was a little awkward. But in the process of Mo being awkward, he was able to block Binky a little bit. Binky was trying to turn, and Lowman was able to come right back in. And now the Shadow, I'm pretty sure this is the first time the Shadow have had a lead since, I don't even know if they had the lead in Game 2.
They didn't. They were behind the entirety of Game 2. Even when they scored, it only made it 2-1. They hadn't even tied the game up in Game 2. But now, Shox are immediately looking to counteract that. Mo, great cutback to stop AJ from getting any real possession on the ball. And Lowman with an incredible 50. AJ attempting to block. Both players seem to communicate that they wanted the ball. Mo was given it by Lowman. Smart communication there. Lowman, of course, on 0 boost at the time. And that clearance away might be helpful because now Big C is on the backboard with no boost, has no way of getting to that ball, and AJ had to rotate through as Lowman's shot did not find the target. One-on-one situation. Good 50 as we cross the halfway point. The Sharks, they need to find a goal to tie things up. If anyone's going to do it, it'll be Big C, but AJ will find the follow-up instead off the bump and pass, and that is 2-2.
Dude, I can just hear the Jaws music right now in the ear coming from Big C. We said it looks like a shark. It's the closest car. Then Big C was able to get the pass and immediately went hunting. Was able to get the bump, giving AJ that beautiful open net to work with. And it worked out. Now we're all tied up.
Yeah, now we are looking to see who will be the one to break the deadlock. Will it be the Sharks? Will it be the Shadow? Either of these teams have the capability to doing so. AJ, good touch there, but Mo is up, puts it high, looks for a bump, doesn't find it. Lowman can't find the shot, demoed in the corner, and now Sharks get to run this one down the field. A great bump though from Mo. Actually buys Lowman a lot of time off the respawn, but Big C is equal to the aerial shot. Completely dominates it and pulls that offensive rug out from under the Shadow. They now have to try and find a way to get back on the offense, get back into a stable mindset, but they have to make a save. That is not coming. Mo does not read the shot, and Big C will be granted another goal to their name.
Yeah, it almost looked like you kind of saw over there on the left, AJ was gonna go for a bump on Mo, and it looked like Mo went to dodge it, and in the process went onto the wall, and it kind of messed them up into giving that chance to go for the save.
Just unfortunate timing for the most part. Mo looking for the back boost, never came up. Just cleared it away. That's another chance though. AJ Binky will be given an open net. They do not miss those if Game 1 did not inform you. Mo not able to find the touch. The beat from Big C in the corner. And AJ just puts a bounce shot in straight center of the net. And that is as simple as a 2-goal lead as you're going to get in this sort of a game. Minute 17 to go. The Shadow have found themselves going from being in the lead to being 2 goals behind in a matter of moments. And it feels like a lot of the pressure that they had building started to crumble underneath them.
Yeah, it was like the first time I think that they had a lead since Game 1, we said. Then now the Sharks have just become what they were in Game 2 and 3. They're bringing it back, which this could be the lead that they need to at least take the series and put them in the lead 3-1. But now with the Shadow also, they don't want to go down without a fight, and they have under 40 seconds to put 2 goals into the back of the net. But right now it looks like the Sharks midfield game right now is extremely strong, not really allowing the Shadow to get by it.
Loving the presence AJ has in the midfield, makes the opponents challenge him, takes them out of position, beat both with 2 very simple but very, very useful touches. Just takes it up to the mid, then beats out Lowman, fakes them out with an attempted shot, and instead passes it off, offloads it to Big C, who has been the goal scorer this entire game. 3 goals, 2 assists to their name, 2 saves in this one, all to Big C's name, and they have all credited Big C and the Sharks with what should be, unless a minor miracle occurs and the Shadow are able to find 3 goals in 5 seconds, a Game 4 win to secure the series. Big C will clear it away to make sure Mo will put it down. The Sharks take Game 4. They move 3-1 ahead as we look towards game number 5.
Kind of looking like in the defense of the Shadow, they really started to show up. They started to show us what we saw in Game 1, and then it was like about the midway up through the game, we saw the Sharks midfield presence, like we said, start to show up, and it was definitely the thing that they needed to come back, and they were able to capitalize each time the Shadow tried to get it near the midfield. We either saw AJ there or the Big C able to get the 50 and turn it right back around to put it onto the Shadow side. Especially in that last half, I almost don't even think it left the Shadow side of the pitch.
Yeah, it definitely felt like the Shadow sort of gave back a lot of room and a lot of ability to the Sharks in that midfield. About 2 minutes to go, they sort of gave the Sharks a little bit more freedom than they had been. They'd been oppressing them in the midfield, and that's exactly how you have to. You have to keep the pressure up in these sorts of games. The second they gave them the room to be a little bit more carefree with their touches, a little bit more sort of creative with their offensive styling, they were able to bounce straight through and run through the Shadows defense. Game number 5 is on the block. It is Manfield night, and of course anyone could still take this game. Even though the Shadow are out of the series, they're not out of the woods yet. They still need to try and find that 5th game win. They can find it, and they will take the series to a 3-2 score for the Sharks. Of course, the Sharks, you want to start your season off right, best way to do it, other than the 5-0, is a 4-1.
And especially, like you said, just for the start of the season, that's a great way to start it off. The Sharks almost were able to find that early lead, and they're not going to give up yet, but neither are the Shadow, to make sure that the Sharks do not score.
A little bit of a miscommunication there, team bump there from Mo and Lolman, but that's a great B from Mo. Sets up an opportunity, will tee it up high. AJ's awkward at the near post and doesn't actually get a touch, but Big C will clear it away up the sidewall, and AJ will send it back into the Shadows half. Both players commit, but neither find an opportunity to hit that ball away from their defensive third until now, as Lolman will send it deep into the Sharks territory, and the miss there from AJ may be crucial for the Shadows' momentum as they will find their first goal of Game 5.
Get a nice shot coming out from Lolman. Lolman was able to get that nice boom off the wall and was able to stay in behind it if AJ was able to get the touch. Lolman was right there and would have been able to get the 50. And Lolman started to fall a little short, and AJ didn't read the ball correctly, and now the Shadow have the lead once again. And Lolman starting to show up like we saw him a bit in Game 1. Definitely the right thing that we want to see for the Shadow.
Oh, with a good beat. That's awkward bounce though, and he just couldn't direct it on target. That should have been the second goal for the Shadow, their biggest lead since Game 1. But they couldn't find the shot that they needed to put that one home. Big C with a good 50 there on Mo. It leaves it in an awkward spot. AJ and Lolman go up, but Lolman gets the better of it for the first time in what feels like a while. Lolman gets up there quicker and gets the ball away from the Sharks. That one will drop down in front of the net, but AJ will clear it away. Now we'll look to send it. That's just off target, off the post, but Mo doesn't know that and instead reads it into the post, and a beautiful clear off the ceiling. Should have been the end of the Shadows' worry, but they are now back on the defensive very quickly. Mo will tee it up in front of the net. AJ's there and will slot it home. You do not give opportunities like that away, otherwise AJ will knock them home every day.
Mo was just trying to sit it into the corner, but didn't get enough just underneath. They were able to sit it high, but not high enough to the point where they were able to float it down into the corner. And AJ, like you said, they gave him that opportunity, and AJ was able to capitalize on that opportunity to put it into the net to tie us up here in Game 5.
The Shadow have been consistent throughout in their solid defense, but one missed touch has always been their downfall in games in situations like these right now. In this series, they have struggled to be in all aspects consistent. They have either lacked offensive capabilities or lacked the ability to maintain those offensive capabilities throughout a long-term game. That's a shot on target. AJ will slot it home, and again the proof is in the pudding. Great B from Big C, grabs the boost, gets the bump onto Mo, and it's already in before AJ touches it. Just a secure goal for the Sharks as they move one goal ahead in Game 5. Eerily familiar to how things have gone in previous games.
Oh, most definitely, and that's the Sharks. That's what they're comfortable with. They like when they get that lead, especially near just about the halfway point. The Shadows still have a chance, though. They still have half the game to kind of work it out and able to get the clear, just like that from Loman. That's a dangerous shot. Binky's not able to get it. What a boom coming in from Loman.
It reads 101 kilometers an hour. I'm not sure what that is in miles, but that is
63.
63, but I would call that a registered boomer right there. Sent that one
definitely
from the half into the back of the net. Didn't even hit the floor. Beautiful arcing shot from Loman to tie the game up. That's what the Shadow need. Just a little bit of authority on the offensive front. Not giving the room or the space or the time of day to the Sharks. Pressure them into making mistakes, and Loman will do it not once but twice to both players to make it 3-2. The Shadow are not out of this game yet. Beat Big C, beat AJ Binky. Easy game for Loman.
Especially, even though Mo didn't get an actual assist, he definitely got the bump assist. Bo was rolling into the Sharks' territory just a little bit. I think it was Big C was getting ready to get a touch on it, but Mo was able to get the bump, send him back, and that just gave Loman full control of the ball. And like the Sharks have just learned, Loman was able to capitalize, and they just did it again. Mo with an excellent shot. Even though the Sharks were a little awkward, AJ just like you can see it, just right underneath it, and wasn't able to get that read. It's just off the wall enough. It's kind of hard to tell. Do you need to go up the wall, or are you able just to double jump right underneath it?
Yeah, a couple of slips in the defensive front for the Sharks. 3 goals that arguably they'd feel shouldn't have found their way in, but have. And they are now going to look to try and get one back. Double commit there on the defense from the Shadow. It's a simple goal for Big C. Off of the touch from AJ Binky once again. Puts it high. Mo goes for it, but doesn't see AJ that close. And it's as simple as that sometimes. To make sure a shot goes in, you just get it up high. You get it out of touch. Make the defenders bite. Take them away from the ball, and it's as simple as just hoping your teammate is in position to knock it home. Big C, of course, would be there for that one. You do not miss an opportunity like that often.
Indeed, and the Sharks, we've definitely seen that quite a bit here, especially from the Sharks. Like we've seen it off and on from the Shadow, but the Sharks' passing plays and team plays have been extremely strong and have been extremely effective. Even on top of that, almost just showing up right there. Big C able to get the bump. AJ almost with the shot opportunity. AJ might have control over the ball now, but kind of keeping it in the Shadows' half.
Keeping that high press up as well. Been the MO of the Sharks as they look to try and find an equaliser. Great touch from Mo to direct it to the far corner. Take it off of Big C's hood. Now the ceiling shot attempt from AJ. Neither them nor Mo will find the ball, and that one will bounce across to the midfield. Mo will take a touch, but it's only as far as AJ, who was positioned perfectly. Loman read it going in, but it wasn't. Off the post and out, and AJ will be there for the follow-up. Mo could only demo Big C, but couldn't hit the real target, and that was AJ Binky.
I was about to say, it's like I had to watch that replay. I couldn't see anything. I was watching from Big C's perspective, and all of a sudden just explosion, and the ball was in the net. I had no idea what happened after that explosion. I was blinded. It was definitely a great shot coming out from AJ. Loman looked to be a little close, but wasn't able to get it into the back of the net. And we're just under 30 seconds now, and we're all tied up.
Yeah, it's still a lot to play for. 4 is the scoreline in game number 5. The 5th goal should probably determine game 5's ending. Are the Shadow going to find a way to be the cog in this, or are things just going to fall apart for them? Because they have had such a great offensive pressure so far, but it's just not clicked in the final moments. Loman will tee this one up high. That is on target. Big C will catch it, drop it down. We go to our first overtime in game number 5 to end the series off. What a great way to start the day here in MLE. Season 14 it's well and truly underway now. We took a while to get an overtime, but I feel this one's a bit deserved after everything that's happened in this game.
Not just even in this game, but in this whole entire series.
Oh, so close. Sorry to cut you off. I thought Mo had buried that, but no, Loman didn't find the follow-up touch either. AJ Binky looking for a double to finish. No, Loman will clear it away. Both teams looking for the fancy way to finish this. They want to end it in style. They know that the last thought you have regarding something is the ones that will stick with you the longest. AJ will try and knock it home, can't find the inside of the post, just the outside. Big C now. Knocks this one up high, gets the beat on one. Lawman goes up but can't find the 50. Will find a delayed one with AJ. A minute gone, not a single goal has been scored, and it's great defense once again from the Shadow and a little bit of unfortunate offense from the Sharks.
Indeed, but even in that moment, just like the Shadow in that predicament of just trying not to panic, they were able to keep their cool down a little bit. And it took them a while to get the clear, but they were able to do it. But right now, ball might be in Sharks territory, and it is. They're able to get the demo on Lowman. Lowman able to get a good spawn just in time. So now we're just trying to see who's going to be able to capitalize and able to get it clear. Because right now, both teams, when they go on that offense and that counter attack, they're able to put it in and mow with that shot. And we're approaching both these teams not willing to give up just yet. I'm pretty sure we're getting ready to see some of the best Rocket League, especially for this series happening in this overtime.
Now, I don't want to hurry this up, but I do have a series at 7 that I need to get to. So I'm hoping for a goal soon, but you know, that's me being biased as a caster. I also kind of want to see this one go on forever because it's been so wonderful, but Mo might have just sealed it off the backboard. Lowman can't find the read. 2 minutes have gone. There has been no goal. The Sharks will survive on the defense, but it's not over yet. The pressure's still mounting. Mo with a 50 goes backwards. AJ out of position, not able to get up. Lowman, double tap off the bar. It can't find its way in. And lucky Sharks will not find a 4-1 slip away just yet. Clearance away. Mo tries to catch, can get around the ball, but can't seem to get the touch. Will look to put it mid, but AJ's there to clear it away. It's high pressure from the Shadow. The first time we've seen this out of them, and it will finally pay off. Mo will slot it home. Solo play to win it. And that is all the Shadow needed to make it their second game win and end the series at 3-2 in favor of the Sharks.
They had a great floater shot coming from Mo. I honestly thought he was able to get the touch to send out the backboard, which would have set Lowman up perfectly. But in the process, it was just enough. It had just enough power and arc that it just simply floated up and then floated right back down and found its way into the net. Vixie wasn't able to get there for it. So the Sharks still take the series 3-2, but the Shadow were able to take a second game, which is definitely what they at the very least wanted to happen.
Absolutely. I mean, you're coming into the first week of the season, you're obviously going to want to try and wrap it up with a win, but in terms of best case scenario, this was as close as you could get for both teams. Both tried, gave it their all in these matches, but eventually one team had to give way, and the Sharks just seemed to have a little bit more on the offensive front than the Shadow in this situation, in this matchup. But of course, these two still have to face off in threes, and that in itself should be in itself a wholly different matchup, as is the way with threes. Twos is one thing, threes is another. And speaking of another, because that's right, we're not done here. We still have more action coming your way. It's 7 p.m. That's up next. It'll be Champion League doubles. We're going to keep the action on twos just for a little while. Maybe we'll go to threes later. I don't know. I didn't decide the schedule. It's the Aviators at way to the Ducks. It's a 5-game set. Either team could take it in the Sky Division. We'll be right back after this short intermission with that series coming your way.